Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel for my fifth and final movie review of the day. So I had to catch up on all these movies I've seen at the theaters lately so that I can get back to the theaters coming up this weekend and get back on track with the new movies. So this one is one that's been out for a long time, but I only recently saw it, and it was still playing at the movie theaters as of recently. Everything, Anything, Everywhere, All at Once. I said that totally wrong. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, I think is right. I'm not even sure about that. So this movie is absolutely mother freaking nuts. And I loved almost every minute of it. I gotta say, this film had me laughing, and that's a big key. So absurd, so wild, so crazy. I was just cracking up at some of the stuff that would have happened in this movie. Really fun and hilarious movie. Crazy at times. I say at times pretty much the entire time, other than maybe the very beginning when things get set up. And it seems to be, and I heard the movie was crazy, and I saw the trailer at some point, so I knew it wasn't just your standard regular movie, and that wasn't going to go into the realms of insanity and into, you know, science fiction and whatnot. But at the beginning of the film, it does seem to be just a normal movie, and you have this lady, this kind of middle-aged lady, I'm not sure how old she is, but she runs a laundromat with her husband, and her husband is played by Kwan, who you might remember from the Goonies, from Indiana Jones. Very cool to see him back in movies, and he is awesome in this movie as her husband. A very kind man, a very gentle man, and he's very funny too. He hasn't missed a beat, man. He's the same guy he was back when he played the Goonies and everything. Very funny guy. But then there's a moment where we see him on the security monitor at the laundromat, and he starts like out of nowhere moving around, flipping around, doing crazy things, and it's like, whoa. And then he gets back to normal. We don't know what happened. And we come to find out that wasn't actually him. That was someone else kind of embodying him. It was a him from another universe that embodied him and explained to her, to Evelyn, who is the wife and kind of the main character of this movie, that there is a multiverse that is being threatened by Jobu Tupaki, who is the Alphaverse version of their daughter, Joy. And I guess apparently she is going to destroy the entire multiverse. And only you can save her, Evelyn. Only you can save the multiverse, Evelyn. Basically everything. Not just the universe, the multiverse, everything. Only Evelyn can save it. And her daughter is the main villain. Even though her daughter seems like innocent, normal person in the universe that Evelyn is in the bigger picture, she is this insane villain. Not sure if I explained that correctly or not, because the movie is so wacko, so crazy, so insane that you kind of lose what the hell is going on. But that's the basic premise from what I understand. Now, they are getting audited. They go to the tax, their tax person, who is played by Jamie Lee Curtis. She is so funny. She is so awesome in this movie. And in different universes, she plays different roles. And at one point, Evelyn is told, at one point, turns into this horrible monster attacking Evelyn. And Evelyn is, you have to do something. Anytime you want to switch universes, get out of where you're at, go into another universe, you have to do some random weird thing, whatever it might be. It's always something different. Sometimes it's disgusting. Sometimes it's usually something pretty crazy. Could be giving yourself paper cuts. That was one of them. Get a paper cut through all your hand. Give it 5 paper cuts, and then you move to the next universe. I don't even know. But at this point, she was told to tell Jamie Lee Curtis's character, who at this point is not when she's the tax person, she's really funny. But at this point, she's some kind of crazy monster attacking her. And you have to tell her from the bottom of your heart that you love her. What? So she looks at, she's like, I can't do that. And then Jamie Lee Curtis came like she was going to kill her. She's like, ah, with an axe. She's like, I love you. That's just an example of the absurdity of this movie. And we find out why would she even have to say that she loves her? Why would she say that there is a universe where they have hot dog fingers? What? That are really funny. And in that universe, they're kind of lovers. They're together. And there's it's all sweet and everything. And it's this movie is nuts. And here's the thing. If you start going too crazy with your movie, there comes a point where I no longer like the movie unless you keep going crazier and keep getting crazier. And I like it even less. And there's a point where you get over this line where now you're so bizarre, so crazy, so insane, so unpredictable, so hilarious. Now I freaking love the movie. And that's where this movie gets to. It crosses over that line because now I have no clue what to expect. And they've already long since crossed the line of, science fiction or whatever. Like nothing in this movie is to be expected to be, like that would never happen type deal. I know a lot of people are like, dude, you always complain about things that would never happen. That's because if a movie takes place on this planet, on this Earth, the Earth that we know, and we're supposed to believe that there's nothing science fiction about it, then I shouldn't have a whole bunch of things happening that are genuinely impossible, that are so outlandish that it's impossible. This movie is clearly a science fiction movie. Everything that happens is by definition impossible. Everything that's happening is multiverse stuff. It's out of control. It's a science fiction / comedy / drama / absurdist movie where anything and everything goes. But somehow through all of that, there is a plot. And I tried to say it where basically Evelyn is trying to save the multiverse and she has to somehow take out her daughter. At least that's where I understand it. And her daughter that actress is awesome as a villain. When she comes out in her villain form, sarcastic, funny, evil. And she's great. I loved every minute of it. When she comes back to herself, she's totally convincing as a normal teenager. That was herself in her normal universe. Then she would go into another universe. She was just evil, all-knowing. Craziness in this movie is there's so many. I cannot possibly go through all of it, but the main thing that's going to destroy the universe is something that she created called a bagel. And it looks like a bagel. It's this kind of black hole thing. And it's hilarious. It looks like a bagel. And the bagel is going to destroy the multiverse, destroy everything. And sometimes when Evelyn would get sidetracked, her daughter would say, bagel. Stuff like, just so, it sounds stupid coming from me. You have to watch the movie, but it's funny. It really is funny, and it's interesting to see. What is she going to do about this? Her own daughter. She's going to have to kill her own daughter. So there's something interesting behind all this craziness. It's not that easy to kill her daughter because her daughter is very powerful in this movie, and it actually does have a somewhat logical conclusion that is pretty satisfying. But that's not what the movie's about. But I'm just saying it meanwhile somehow managed to accomplish a plot underneath all this insanity that is just, I just can't stop watching. This thing is so funny. I mean, it starts to get a little bit exhausting. It does feel a little long. Like you're ready for it to end at some point. Like, okay, I'm good now. Thank you so much for that. I'm good now. And it will go for another 30 minutes. So it a little bit long because you just get exhausted from it. This is a movie I would love to have on Blu-ray and just watch like over 3 nights, like watch an hour at 45 minutes to an hour at a time. And that would just be so fun. But yeah, all in one sitting, it does get pretty exhausting, pretty long. There's cool action pieces. There are awesome fight scenes in here. Some martial arts of some kind going on here. And there's some elements from the Matrix where you don't know, you don't have any skills, but you get those skills suddenly downloaded into you in a way. And then you suddenly can fight like crazy. And it's like some of the scene where I laughed so loud, where two of them are fighting. They both have downloaded, for lack of a better word. I'm not sure if that word applies in this movie, but like in the Matrix, you suddenly have these skills. So Evelyn knows freaking Taekwondo, and the other guy knows something. They're fighting. Boom, 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 boom. Right? They're awesome. And then all of a sudden they lose those abilities. Those abilities get lost for whatever reason. I can't remember the exact explanation, but there was one that they lose the skills, and then they're like, slapping each other because they couldn't fight anymore. They were back to their base level skills, which were no fighting skills. So they start kind of slapping at each other. It's just hilarious stuff. Jamie Lee Curtis, awesome in the movie. The entire cast, awesome in this movie. I want to give a shout out by name. I don't have all their names memorized, so I'm looking at it right now. We have Michelle Yeoh, of course, she is in the lead role. Stephanie Su, Kwan as the hilarious husband. You have Jenny Slate, Harry Shum Jr., James Hong, and Jamie Lee Curtis. James Hong is in this movie. He is the grandfather. Absolutely hysterical. Love him in this movie. As you know, at the beginning, just an old man, very much old-fashioned, old grandpa, and then he doesn't even speak English. But in some later other universes, he's like the freaking man. He's like the leader, the guy, and just this is just crazy. And he'll speak perfect English in some other universes and kind of freaks other people out. You know, when you see these people that you see them in and other universes who are just, you know, completely different. And it's explained, like, how can you be so this way in one universe and this way in another? And it actually makes a little sense when they explain it, like one slight difference. And it's true. Everyone has made a decision in your life. I've made a decision in my life. I went into the army at one point, made that decision, totally altered the rest of my life. If I didn't do that, I may be not here on YouTube talking. I might be in, you know, who knows where I'd be. The path that you take send you where you go. And every time you choose, like they said in, I believe it was either Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, when Mike said, you know, every time you make a decision, you go on a road and that leads you down a different way. And when you take a different road early in life, those roads take a different way. I could have been a martial arts freaking expert right now. I'm really good at the guitar, but I could have chose a different path and I could not be able to play a note on the guitar. Instead, maybe I'm a professional violinist. Who knows? Or a trumpet player. Who knows, right? You make different decisions. They take you down different paths. And that's why these different universes, everyone is so different, even though they're the same person in a way. Or at least they had the same starting point, but their lives took a completely different path. So really interesting, but wild movie. So funny. And I really enjoyed this one. I gotta say, this movie, is it a masterpiece? In some ways, I think it kind of gets close to that level. I think it does. Just because it's so funny, but it's also, anyone can make an absurd script and just make the stupidest, most illogical things happen, but everything is actually interconnected. And there's an explanation for almost everything as I think about it. And things that I don't have an explanation for, I think there are. I just haven't thought deep enough. I've only seen the movie once. But to me, I think this just barely gets into that territory. I think that this movie is that good. I mean, it's not one of my favorite personal movies of all time, like top 10, top 20, but I think it's just so great in the entire concept, execution, acting. Yes, it's intentionally absurd, but it also makes sense at a plot level if you think about it. At least to me it did. So I'm going to say this movie is a freaking barely, but yes, it makes masterpiece status for the purposes of this review, in my opinion. So let me know what you think of Everything Everywhere, all at once. This movie is so funny. I can't wait to own this one and watch it again. I know I'm very late on this review, but this movie, put it in my top 10 for 2022 movies. That's when it came out. So great film. I hope you guys enjoyed the reviews today. I'm back on track with my movie reviews, so we'll have a new one. I think I'm going to go see that Bear movie this weekend, Cocaine Bear or whatever it's called. So look forward to that review. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you next time.